Well, the Trayvon Martin case is capturing the headlines. George Zimmerman has not been captured, to the best of my knowledge. The police chief of Sanford, Florida, is temporarily on leave. This isn't the first of these sorts of things to have happened in the world. John Nichols, the Washington reporter for TheNation.com, Nation magazine, on the line with us from Madison, Wisconsin. Hey, John, welcome.
It's great to be with you, Tom.
Great to have you back. Tell us about what's going on in Wisconsin. You've got your very own Trayvon Martin up there?
Well, I think that we have to be careful. All these cases are different,
Sure.
But they reference back to the passage of copycat bills across this country. The Florida law is not unique to one state. It's part of a pattern of laws put in place across this country at the behest of the National Rifle Association and via the American Legislative Exchange Council.
ALEC,
so we have
the Koch brothers
funded, corporate-funded group that basically develops model legislation. So these laws have been put on the books all over the country. What's striking and important is that we're now starting to see patterns coming off these laws. In Florida, we've heard a report coming out of their Department of Justice that shows that they've had a more than 200% increase in the number of so-called justifiable homicides since the passage of their law. In Wisconsin, we just passed a law very, very recently under the current legislature signed by Governor Walker. And just about 2 weeks ago, there was a terrible incident in a town called Slinger, Wisconsin, where a young African-American youth named Bo Morrison, I guess I shouldn't call him a youth, he was 20 years old. And he was at a drinking party with a bunch of friends, multiracial, all sorts of folks who had grown up in the area. And the party got broken up because they thought the cops were coming. And all the kids ran and hid in different places. This kid, Bo Morrison, hid on the front porch of a neighboring house. He walked in an open door and hid on the porch. Mm-hmm. The homeowner heard some kind of noise out front, came out with a gun, and shot Bo Morrison, shot him dead. And there is no evidence that this kid had a gun, that he made any sort of wild or violent move. He did not break into the house. He was not in the house. He was on a porch. Now, that's not to justify what was going on that night. It was, kids partying. Mm-hmm. But you've ended up with a horrible situation, and this young man is dead. And yesterday, the county prosecutor in that county decided not to press any charges and cited Wisconsin's new castle doctrine or stand your ground law.
Or shoot first, or, kill them as fast as you can, or whatever you want to call them.
Tom, I think it's best summed up by Kendall Coffey, the longtime federal prosecutor down in Florida, who is a real tough on crime guy, hardly somebody who is casual about these things. And he says, this is a license to kill law.
Right.
It says that you can kill someone, and no matter what the circumstances, you're probably going to get away with it.
John, here's something that's been nagging at me. The American Legislative Exchange Council, 20, 30 years ago, brought into being with largely money from the Koch brothers, if my understanding is correct.
You're exactly right.
Okay. This is what has been a very, very shadowy group, but in fact has gotten shadowier because they no longer post their model legislation on their website, and a Wisconsin Democratic state representative, we had him on our show several times now, paid his $100 and showed up, and when they discovered he was a Democrat, they threw him out. And so it's mostly Republicans. There's a few hardcore right-wing blue dog or yellow dog or whatever, no dog at all, Democrats who show up. But it's mostly Republican legislators and lobbyists, 50-50, side by side. The lobbyists pay up to $100,000 to sit there. The legislators pay $100 and very often get all their expenses paid to show up there. And they write laws that benefit the lobbyists, that benefit the corporations, that benefit the corporate interests. And so I can understand things like voter ID laws, because, hey, you have fewer Democratic voters, you get more Republican legislation. Republican legislation tends to be very corporate friendly. But I don't understand why a group that exists to advance the interests of, the billionaires and the corporations in our society would be pushing a law that has in the state of Florida almost tripled the justifiable homicide rate?
Let me answer your question, Tom, because unfortunately there is an answer. Let's begin with the fact that we've always, going back to before the founding of the United States through common law, had self-defense protections.
Sure.
And there are instances, and there may even be instances where somebody, people get all excited about a shooting that has occurred, and actually it was legitimate self-defense. That will happen sometimes, and we have to be careful not to convict people in those situations.
Right.
But let's ask why we went to this extreme of having so-called castle doctrine or standard ground laws, which take self-defense out of the household, put it in the street, and say that not only do you have a right to defend yourself, you don't have to retreat. You don't have to, try and protect yourself. You can just shoot. Why are we going to these extreme laws? Well, the fact of the matter is that beginning in Florida in 2005, with the passage of this law, there has been a national push by the National Rifle Association and ALEC, making this a scored bill, i.e. one that legislators get extra credit. They get extra points within ALEC if they sponsor it. It's a very highly promoted piece of legislation. And the answer to your question, unfortunately, is that on the Criminal Justice Task Force, now the Elections and Public Safety Task Force of ALEC, sits not just the NRA and legislators, not just a representative of the Koch brothers, but also Walmart. And Walmart has been very, very involved in that because Walmart is the number one gun seller in the United States.
Really?
And, yeah, more guns are sold at Walmart than any place else.
Now, the last time I was in Walmart was when I lived in Vermont, and it was the only store within 100 miles that sold a pillow. And so I walked into a Walmart and bought a pillow. But and I remember walking by the gun department in that Walmart in Vermont, and it was mostly long rifles. I mean, it was for hunters.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, in cases like this, you can have it as a long rifle or a pistol. But if you go back to Michael Moore's film, Bowling for Columbine,
right?
If you recall back there, it was, in fact, he highlighted the fact that these major retailers are also major gun sellers.
So Walmart is selling pistols. They're selling semi-automatic pistols.
They're selling a lot of guns.
This guy had a Cal-Tel 9, or Tel-Cal 9. It's a handgun. I mean, it's a semi-automatic.
Let's be careful here, Tom. I don't want to characterize exactly the gun, where a gun came from.
Right.
I'm telling you why certain interests.
So Walmart is the number one gun seller in America, and they sit on this ALEC council along with Republican state legislators that is pushing this law that what is this? So more people will buy guns so they can kill people?
No, Tom. Of course, you might think that, but it's actually something altogether different. There's a lot of liability with gun sales, or there potentially could be liability with gun sales. Suppose you sell a gun that goes and is in fact used in a horrific incident where ultimately there has to be a huge payout. And let's say the family isn't satisfied simply with holding a neighborhood watch and an unemployed member of a neighborhood watch team to account. They'd like to know where the gun came from. There's just a host of issues where things track.
So these so-called castle laws that Walmart and the NRA are promoting through the American Legislative Exchange Council, do they explicitly diminish liability, or is it simply the fact that nobody gets prosecuted?
Tom, there is no better way to diminish liability than the fact that police say it was justifiable.
You're right.
That you, under the laws of your jurisdiction, it was appropriate.
So this is a get-out-of-jail-free card, not just for people like George Zimmerman, but also for Walmart.
Well, potentially, and it's one of the reasons. Again, we don't have to make this as complex or go to every intricate detail on it. What we have to understand is that there are corporations that have historically made a lot of money selling guns, making guns and selling guns.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
They do.
Yeah. Okay. Got it, John. John Nichols, thenation.com. John, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Good talking.